Hey YouTube, Maddie's Daddy 12, Team JMT, coming to you guys with another Understanding Stun, and this one is going to be entitled, Don't Call It a Comeback. The reason I'm entitling it that is because I don't want you guys to be surprised that stun decks have gotten better as of the recent tournaments. A lot of you will remember in my past videos I've told you that stun decks are really hard to pilot whenever there is a large spectrum in the meta that you have to worry about. When there are so many decks that you have to prepare for that you could lose to if you're not prepared for, it's really hard to build a deck to really answer the meta when you have to come in worried about 7 or 8 different decks. Well, now, since the release of Tachyon Galaxy, you really only need to worry about 2 decks and possibly a third with Elemental Dragons or Dragon Rulers, Prophecy or Spellbooks, however you want to call those two, and then Evil Swarm hits that third tier just in under those 2. So now that you only have to worry about those 2 decks, it's a lot easier to answer a meta, only having to answer those 2 decks, than it is to have to answer a meta of 6 or 7 or 8 decks. So this has been proven with, I can't remember the guy's name. I'm kind of stuck on stupid at the moment. Wow. I think he got second at the Nationals with an anti-meta build, and it was strictly just that. It was strictly just anti-meta style monsters. So let's get into some of the stuff that he played. First, we start off with Thunder King. Again, Thunder King just shuts down so much stuff. It shuts down Judgment. It shuts down Rejuve. It shuts down all the dragons trying to add to hand. It shuts down Secrets. It kind of shuts down Masters also, because Masters, they want to mainly copy Secrets. So with Thunder King, you can answer so much of that stuff, and you can actually answer the Ophion plays, tributing Thunder King to answer Ophion, forcing them into an Exceed play that they don't want to make just to get Thunder King off board. However, with the Evil Swarms, they got 1950s that run over him, so 1900's not as good against them as their 1950s, but he's still a pretty good answer for the Evil Swarm matchup. Next, Kaiku. Now, the deck that did extremely well was actually main decking 3 Kaiku. Again, while he's out, your opponent cannot remove cards from the graveyard, so dragons can't remove from the graveyard to bring out their monsters. Spellbooks, they can't remove to play Fate. So, I mean, you've shut down a lot of what they want to do also just through him. You control their graveyard by not allowing them to remove their cards to answer your monsters. Another thing to keep in mind is, their lights and darks. I know the guy that actually topped with this deck was not playing Chaos, but again, you're feeding into the lights and darks. Now, I know he was also running stuff like Falsadina. I believe he was running Grand Mole. If I'm not mistaken, he was main decking some Cyber Dragons also, which I think Cyber Dragon is actually a really good meta choice right now. Just because you're going to see Draco Sack out of almost anything right now, because it seems like everybody can put 7s on board. So yeah, I mean, this is just some of the some of the monsters that he was using, and just standard anti-meta monsters and stuff that is doing really, really well right now. Next, let's get into another topic, the back row. Now, something that I thought was really interesting is he was taking in 2 Prideful Roar, which allowed him to answer Ophion. The best thing that Evil Swarms have going for them is that they can protect their monsters from any of your spells and traps with Pandemic. Well, Prideful Roar doesn't affect, it's a battle phase trick, but it doesn't affect their monster, it affects yours. They don't have any answer to stop that. So this is their instant out to Ophion, which a lot of decks don't have such a clever answer to Ophion. But something else that I wanted to point out about this card is that it's a trap. And a lot of people are not running MSTs anymore, and a lot of people have cut out Heavy Storm out of these top tier decks. With them cutting out, a lot of people cutting out Heavy Storm and MSTs have left it open to where now you can play 14, 15 traps and not have to worry about anything. Deep Prisons are good. Bottomlesses are good. Mirror Forces are good. If somebody wants to overextend into you, and you just hit them with a Torrential Tribute. Prideful Roar is another excellent battle phase trick. Lances, again, are just so much better because you're not getting eat up with MSTs, and people are almost afraid to play MST anymore because they're afraid your back row is going to be breakthrough skill, and then their MST almost seems worthless because you're still going to be able to remove breakthrough skill and get the effect off later. So back row has become a lot more valuable as a stun player. So now that we only have the 2 decks to really worry about, and the third one that you need to outplay, stun decks are a lot better, and you're going to see them popping up a lot more until the format changes. So there you go, guys. So don't call it a comeback. I've been telling you guys for a long time about how stun plays out. When you have to answer a lot, stun's not that great, but when you only have to answer a few, stun is probably one of the better meta choices to make. So I appreciate it, guys. Subscribe, comment down below. Show us how much you love us.